Who want one last trip to the long trail?
You know, Capcom, maybe I was too hard on you. Paying $10 for this skin isn't a bad deal. Look at this. Look at this one. Oh my god. Look at this one. Maybe skins isn't that bad after all. On the topic of Street Fighter, they're continuously dropping bombs. They just announced another collaboration, this time with an anime. Spy X Family Code White. The collaboration items will be available in 1 month on January 9th. When I see stuff like this, bro, I hope Tekken is bringing that same kind of heat. Imagine collaborations with different animes, mangas, movies, and TV shows. Even if it's not a character, just a customization item or something of that sort can go a long way. This trailer was also fire as well. But regardless, let's move on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Of course, everyone is waiting hand and foot and elbow for the GTA 6 trailer. GTA is just different, bro. So many different other companies started to follow as well, copying the same format. Some people thought it was cringe, but I was like, hey, Bandai Namco might as well do the same thing for Tekken 8. Now, although they haven't, Omega Mishima gave us one instead. We talked a lot about the order. If Kuma drops in like 2 days from now, that will be 100% the order that we will follow. And even though a lot of people hate the Bears snooze fest, don't sleep on Kuma. Kuma, going off the screenshots, have some of Heihachi's moves. So for everyone who cares about Heihachi and his character arc, his progression, whatnot, that now is being carried over with Kuma. And the same thing for Panda with Zhao Yu. They're differentiating those two characters, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. And also just how the characters play out in terms of usage. Will Kuma be top tier, Panda be low tier? Only time will tell. Now, I saw this post on Twitter from Patrick Leonhardt. It says, can't believe I have to state this because the others keep claiming credit on my work for Tekken 7 soundtrack. I produced, composed, and wrote the lyrics in full Verde on Tekken 7. The rest of my band members at the time performed as I directed them to. I don't know the details here, but it sounds like there's some kind of like drama going on with the song and whatnot. But I thought I would just play the song so we all can at least put a face to the soundtrack that Tekken 7 offers. Now, while everyone is still complaining about Steve Fox's face, you have a post here on the Tekken subreddit that is comparing Steve Fox to the Chun-Li situation with how Capcom went back and made her face look a little bit better. They changed the character from a 3 to, let's say, a 4 or a 5. They didn't do that great of an improvement. A lot of people still want them to do the same thing for Steve Fox. You have this person, BamsTK, on Twitter. They put this super viral post as in terms of Tekken, and it basically just shows a edited version of Steve Fox. The shoulders is smaller, the neck is smaller, the neck choker is gone, the cheeks. This is what players want. It's a small difference, but this is what the players demand. I already gave my thoughts on this. I kind of really don't care. Some people say, oh, you don't care because you're Yoshi. I mean, regardless, I still don't care. I think the fact that we're complaining about this one character's face, it shows how good the game is. If you look around at other games, there's so much more to complain about besides one character's face. But the reason why I'm doubling back and talking about Steve Fox is because I saw this post. We all know that Steve Fox has to clinch in Tekken 8. We saw it in the trailer. But this one is drawing a comparison to Ganryu's grab. Now, when I seen this, I panicked. This grab in Tekken 7, I do not know how to break it. I do not know how to stop it. This is basically a free, unblockable. Ganryu gets to do whatever he wants. You know, Ganryu is really powerful in Tekken 7. Pay to win DLC, yada, yada, yada. So the fact that Steve Fox may have some kind of clinch grab situation like Ganryu had, that is going to do wonders for Steve Fox and just like what he's able to do.
Just like we did with Mortal Kombat 11, we're going to release a second part with more story, and we have a big surprise after that. So we're going to be supporting the game for even longer than we did with Mortal Kombat 11.
Once again, will Tekken 8 do the same? Of course, we're expecting big things out of the story, but so far, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are adding things afterwards. You talk about AKI being added to the World Tour, and the same thing with Shahid. And then Mortal Kombat 1 is just doing a full-on expansion. Will Tekken 8 expand on their story afterwards in any way whatsoever? Fingers crossed. I am hoping so, because even though the other two are stumbling and fumbling over themselves when it comes to monetization, they're still bringing that heat and they're still dropping bombshells each and every week. Don't even get me started on the Quan Chi trailer.
You wish to fight me?
Not fight. Beat senseless.
A tweet from Markman. New titles for EVO Japan: Grand Blue Fantasy vs Rising, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Under Night in Birth, whatever that is. One of the first tournaments for Tekken 8 is going to be EVO Japan 2024. At the time of recording, we do not know anything about the Tekken World Tour for 2024. I'm pretty sure they'll tell us a little bit about that at the Tekken World Tour Finals, like they always do. But the first stop being EVO Japan not only makes sense for the DLC character to release after the fact. I don't think they'll do DLC releasing before anymore, just considering how Leroy Smith turned out, but either before or after the first DLC character I'm expecting to come out. But regardless, this is going to be the first time we see Tekken 8 a full-on tournaments, from pools all the way to top 8 to the grand finals. That is going to be fantastic. I seen a cracked player gameplay on Twitter and it was ridiculous. Like, as Law is falling off the wall, Brian Fury sidesteps around him and using the heat system to push, the engage, all of that stuff carries Law all the way to the other side of the wall. That combo was ridiculous. The developer said that they tried to nerf the heat system, but more and more I'm seeing cracked gameplay where players are still figuring out a way to do these busted, god-awful combos. And I wonder if the developers, one, are seeing this, and two, how they're going to react to it, because they tried to stop it in the closed network test, but they failed. The cracked players are doing cracked things.
I hate rich people!
An interesting thing to note about Law, his quote, "I hate rich people," was removed from the Tekken 8 beta. Some people was like, yeah, that's good because it kind of made him too dark. It takes away from the lighthearted side of Law. But there was a post on this Tekken subreddit that I just seen as well that says, "This is why Law hates rich people." And it's Lily clapping the cheeks of Forest Law, the son. I don't want to get too deep into which characters are stronger than who, but I know the Laws is always grouped up with Paul Phoenix and Steve Fox and how powerful they are. So if Lily was able to defeat Forest Law, how will she stack up against Martial Law? It's just interesting when you see a canonical instance where one character defeats another. It's rare in Tekken, even though we're moving on to the 8th game. I hope Tekken 8 gives us a lot more clarity on the power levels. But in my opinion, I think there should be kind of this bitterness that carries over from the characters, right? One character loses in Tekken 5 and Tekken 6, they should be a little bit salty by that. Same thing going from Tekken 7 to Tekken 8. It just makes each continuous game feels more real and also feel more connected. Talking about real, talking about connected, I put up a tweet saying Lidia Sobieska was supposed to represent the country in future storylines, but her role in Tekken 8 as an EU world leader battling the Mishimas has seemingly been given to Victor instead. I wonder why they did this. When they were first selling the character, they told us how great she was going to be. They had the whole thing with Heihachi. Heihachi died, so we were assuming that was going to fall to Kazuya or Jin Kazama. For those of you who don't know why Lydia actually hates the Mishimas, in her story it says that they have Mishima Zaibatu soldiers stationed in Poland. For some reason the Mishima invaded it, and Lydia is trying to fight back against them. That was the arc that was going to play out in the future, and now that has been scrapped, so it seems. Maybe Victor can carry the torch, let's say, over the 6-month time gap between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. Maybe Lydia does something and then Kazuya claps her cheeks. It gets real messy. And then Victor, from across the land, he sees the Poland Prime Minister go down, and he's like, hold on, this is too much now. I need to get involved. One, I think that would just make both of the characters really important, but then two, I think it would connect them and not let the character be forgotten. With this post and me always mentioning Lidia Sobieska, I'm basically trying to highlight how characters are forgotten. There was a Bruce main in the comment section who just completely flew over their heads. Every single Tekken, they introduce new characters and the old ones are forgotten about. Baek-Doosan, Wang, Michelle, Bruce, Christine, Mokujin. So many characters, as soon as they're not in a game, they simply do not exist. And in my opinion, I feel like fighting games should do a better job of incorporating a lot of these characters into the canonical story so we can see their progression, whether or not they're playable or not. Now, if you guys watch my content, you know that I also have been fighting tooth and nail for Bruce to be put in Tekken 8 because I think, one, with all that being said, the final thing, Lynn Hart. For those of you who know, this is the person in the trailers who does the
Tekken 8! New challenger!
Accepte ta défaite.
Tu as perdu d'avance.
Even though this person has a very small part in just the game as a whole, I really appreciate what it did for the trailers and how it just elevated it and made it greater than. This is a legendary announcer, and just having that voice carry over to Tekken, announcing each character as they're debuted in a game trailer, that is just something that's special. So thank you for that. And also thank you to you guys as well for watching, and bye bye.